Linda crossed the street in a careless... Her friend Jerry tells her so. She forgot to stop and look before crossing. He points out that the sidewalk stops when it comes to a street. Her dog Abby stops when the sidewalk does and crosses carefully. Now it's time for Abby to go back home because dogs must not be on the school grounds. Jerry explains to Linda that she must learn to be careful when she is out by herself, walking along the street. He knows that when you are out on the street, like when you are walking to school in the morning, you must be your own boss. Your parents or other older people are not there to tell you what to do. You must learn that walking around traffic is dangerous. Jerry has learned about these things from his father, who is a police officer. His father helps people learn about traffic rules and safety. He has shown Jerry many things. He thinks he could help his father by sharing what he has learned with Linda and the other children at school. He takes his father to meet the school principal. The principal thinks that Jerry's idea about helping children at school to learn proper walking safety rules is a good one. Jerry starts by taking some of his friends for a walk. He explains some of the ways to walk safely. First, he points out that sidewalks are there to walk on. He reminds them to cross the street at the corner. Look carefully and wait for cars. Then walk, don't run. Look, there's someone not crossing at the corner. This is against the law and is very dangerous. When you cross at an intersection which has traffic lights, wait until the light has just turned green before you start across. This is called a new green light and will give you plenty of time to cross before the light changes again. Sometimes you need to walk down a street which has no sidewalks, but does have a path. Be sure to use the path. When there is no sidewalk or path, then you may need to walk along the edge of the road. Always walk facing the traffic on the left side of the street. If in a group, walk in single file. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in what we are doing that we forget to observe safe walking rules, like walking side by side, out in the road, and with our backs to the traffic. This is dangerous and irritating to others. The good walker is courteous and thoughtful. Linda has paid attention to all that Jerry has shown them, but she's not sure yet. Are all these rules so important if so many older people disobey them all the time? Jerry's not sure about this. He suggests they ask his father. Jerry's father says Linda's question is a good one. He says that many people haven't learned safe walking habits, or don't do what they know is right. Linda learns that the important thing is for each person to use good judgment and to make careful decisions. children learn why they must be extra careful when walking around cars. When we walk or run, we can stop fast. But cars take much further to stop. The faster the vehicle is going and the heavier it is, the harder it is to stop, and the more room we must give it. The bigger it is, the more we must stay out of the way. Very large trucks are hard to drive and often need all the room they can get. Another important thing, all cars have blind spots, places where the driver cannot see. These are usually the posts between the windows. If you can see the driver's eyes, then you know he can see you. A special danger, cars and trucks backing out of driveways. We must always be on the lookout for drivers who can't see us, even if we have the right-of-way. There's a special problem about using paths that we must remember. Frequently, paths are on someone's private property. The streets belong to everyone, but paths on private property belong to the property owner, just like the rest of the yard and the house. Jerry's friend Paul tells the group that when we walk along someone's path, we are their guests, just like visiting their home. People value their shrubbery and other things along paths. They do not like to have these things broken or damaged. If pedestrians are not thoughtful of the private property they walk on, the property owner may build a fence like this one. Now there is no place to walk anymore at all, except in the street. Sometimes you might want to walk along a street which has no sidewalks or paths and doesn't even have a shoulder wide enough to walk on. Too often, this kind of street has lots of fast-moving traffic. How should you walk along such a street? Just start out and ignore the problem? He shouldn't have been on this street at all. He should have taken another route. If there is no other route, he should have told his parents, who could help find a better way. As you get close to school, you may find many of your fellow students arriving also, all at the same time. When many students gather along a street, they make a serious hazard for drivers. You can follow good safety rules and still talk to your friends. Busy intersections are guarded by safety patrols who have had special training. Be sure to follow their directions. Playing in streets is dangerous, even streets that don't go through. Blocking the street is not very courteous to your friends and neighbors. Another hazard is walking in bad weather or at night. Accidents can happen even in good weather, but bad weather makes things worse. Nobody can see as well, and cars can't stop as well. Transparent umbrellas are best, but none can replace using extra caution in bad weather. At night, even under bright headlights, drivers can't see people walking very well. People in dark clothing can be seen only a short distance away. Light clothing is a little better, but not as good as special strips and patches that reflect the light brightly. Another hazard is new construction. It's fun to watch and may have interesting things to explore. But construction projects are dangerous, even for the workers. For this reason, construction workers don't like children playing around where they work. Jerry's father tells them that the best thing to do is to look briefly, then go on your way. A very dangerous thing, especially for girls, is accepting rides from strangers. The best rule is to never accept a ride without permission, even from people you think you might know. In fact, it's best not even to talk to strangers. Jerry's father and the children talk about all the things they have learned about walking safely to and from school. They decide that the next thing to do is to have him speak to a safety assembly, so that all the children at school can share in what Jerry and his friends have learned. Jerry's father reviews all of the important safety rules at the assembly, including knowing traffic signs. He reminds the students that when they are walking to and from school, they must be their own bosses and make careful decisions about how and where to walk. He asks them if they know and follow safe walking rules, like, do you walk on the sidewalk when there is one, and cross at intersections, looking carefully before crossing, and walk, not run. If there are traffic signals at the intersection, do you cross on a new green light? If there is no sidewalk or path, do you walk facing the oncoming traffic and in single file next to the edge of the pavement? When you walk along a path, do you respect the private possessions you might find there? And stay back from large trucks? Are you careful to look for the driver's eyes before walking around cars? What do you do about streets which simply are not safe to walk along? In bad weather, do you keep an eye out for hazards? If you must walk along roads at night, do you make sure that you can easily be seen? Do you stay clear of new construction? And refuse rides from strangers? Have you learned what the symbols on traffic signs stand for? Jerry's father is proud of all the children because they are learning important ways to walk safely to and from school. And Linda now can be just as safe as her dog Abby, and probably more so.